Hey guys, welcome to my Zed vs Sylas matchup guide. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Ilji, also known as Iljime, a challenger Zed one trick on EUS since season 9. And as of the recording of this video, I'm currently challenger 927 LP with a 60% win rate on Zed, and it is patch 14.6. So let's get into it. These are the runes I take, and I recommend you take them every game as Zed, no matter the matchup to be honest. But against Sylas, some better runes just for the lane could be Electro, Taste of Blood, Eyeball Collection, Alt Hunter, Transcendence, Scorch, Double Adaptive, and either Scaling or Flat Health. Doesn't matter too much. But then you go Doran's Blade Start with 1 potion and Ignite. That's like purely playing for lane, but I don't recommend it. I like to play for the grand scheme of the game and scale and everything and have a good time. So I go First Strike with Longsword with Hittable. Although it's good to know that this setup that I take is actually kind of bad. Like you can fall behind, and if you fall behind it's really bad. So the main thing to do for me is I take this setup and I try to play safe kind of, and I'll show you a few tricks that you can do to stay safe in the early game against Sylas, since he's pretty annoying. We'll forward it a bit to the laning phase. So level 1, he's usually going to start E, so it's good to stand sort of around your backline minions, either a bit ahead or a bit behind. I like to go in and out and bait him. So if he E's in, I go do a little wing around the Rosie. I think I do it this game, so I'll be able to show you. Right here, just going for the Q. He uses E, but then I know he's trying to E me, so I do it, like, go around the minion like that, you know, just then you could auto him and Q him. It's good to do that. Make sure he uses his E and his E2 on the minion, and then use your Q as well. Just make sure that you're going to land the Q. Also, by the way, guys, it's only a Master 300 LP game, so it's not on my main account. But it's like enough to sort of encapsulate how you want to play against Sylas, I would say. So, yeah, we're just playing safe. Even though I have, you know, HP advantage, it's good to play safe. Use W back there, just get the Qs. WQW to get them out, and then I misplay. I shouldn't auto that minion and let him W me. I think that ruined a lot of my trade. All I had to do is just wait back and even give those CS if I have to, and keep my HP advantage. So that was bad by me, mistake. It's fine though so far. But yeah, right in the early game here, you don't want to play too aggressive, so we like to play safe, give him prio, because if we try to contest, usually we'll lose every single trade, especially with this setup. And we can only really win the trades with Electro and Taste of Blood and Scorch, and even Doran's Blade and Ignite. You know, you have to kind of go all in a bit, because I think Sylas in the early levels is quite strong, and it relies on, you rely on like sort of making him miss his E by running around the minions, but if the Sylas is good, you won't get that chance. So it's good to just, I think, scale until first recall, and like level 6, level 7, level 8, things become easier. And especially after Eclipse as well. So yeah, this is sort of the early game. He uses E, so I W, Q. You want to wait for him to use his E1 before you use W, because then he can't dash. And if he does hit his E2, then you can line up the Qs as well. Like if he E's forward, you W, E, and then you can let him EU and then throw the Qs if you want. But yeah, here they're just moving. I'm moving thinking maybe I can help. Then I realize it's kind of silly. He E's onto me and I W away. And then what happens? I guess we can just watch. I'm not pushing too much because I'm still scared, even though I have HP advantage. I'm pushing it really slowly as opposed to like trying to hard shove it. This is good. You want to always usually push the wave slow so you keep control of things. That's an OKW. Just spitting him in there. I missed the cannon. I remember missing this cannon actually getting tilted. And then I flashed to save my Kane. He lives with 1 HP. Lovely jubbly. Yeah, the W was pretty good to bait him in, because my jungler was behind. Now we just shove. I forwarded it a bit until we both met back in lane. So here we are. I'm also going to show you a W backwards combo right here. As he E's in, we use our W backwards. Use the Qs straight away. Auto E and take the W. It's very useful that I was in my minions, so he's trolling really hard. If I wasn't in my minions, then it's harder for me to escape, but I would try to sidestep after taking my W. I'll show you in practice tool as well. And also, as I get level 6 here, he's level 6, but I get level 6, I think I fight him. I'll show you how to fight him once you're both level 6. It's important to, I mean, the main thing that's important is to use your ult first, because then you can line up the Qs if he ults you. So let's say Sylas has your ult, you ult first, he ults you, you have your shadows out already, and he appears behind you. So yeah, he uses his E, I ult, Q, because he didn't even have my ult, but if he had my ult, then I would hold my Q. And yeah, I mean, he lives with 1 HP, but that's just ability haste in my small rune, you know, it's whatever. But if he had my ult, then I would hold the Qs so that I can wait for him to ult me with my ult. And, you know, throw the Qs behind me, because I know exactly where he's going to be. Everything's going to be lined up. And yeah, I escaped from Jarvan here, so that's pretty good. Now I'll forward it until I have Eclipse. Actually, let's just watch this for a second. Do I die? I think I do. Yeah, I die. But we killed Jarvan. Oh well. Okay, I have Eclipse now and I fight him. I do a W here. This is because I have Eclipse shield and I'm not too scared because Kayn is coming here. Use my W like that and then just walk around, go towards my minions and use Q again. Right here I get kind of scared that he's going to W me and kill me. So I ult him, but I don't think I needed to ult him. And yeah, I mean with Eclipse you can be a bit more bold with your Ws and your combos. So right there I W'd behind even though he still had E. And since I had Eclipse and ult, I was still, you know, quite confident in that. So yeah, with Eclipse things basically become easier. You can be a bit more bold, but you still need to be careful because if you're still not too far ahead or if you're behind, he can easily kill you. So you need to be really careful. And that's mainly what I wanted to go through, I think. I died. Okay, let's move on. Another thing to make sure of is when you use WE forwards like this, when he E's, you can also wait to see his chain, because sometimes the Sylas likes to chain your W. So you wait to see the chain and the direction of it, and then you take your W or you don't take your W depending on where he uses the chain. So you want to keep a little bit of distance between you and your W so you can kind of tell like if Sylas is trying to predict if you'll take your W, you know, or not. And you can kind of jump over the chain as well. There's a lot of things you can do with your W too, which is really helpful. And if you're able to stay ahead or even, later on becomes much easier, both in 1v1 and team fights. Sylas is a lot more telegraphed and people can easily beat down Sylas. Right here I jump over his chain with my WE as I discussed before, and then just ult him and beat him down really quick. I'm obviously really ahead, so it's pretty easy, but yeah, I mean, if I was even, it would still be much harder for Sylas, both in 1v1 and in late game. I think Sylas kind of struggles with the scaling, not just against Zed, but like against everyone. If Sylas isn't snowballing, he's not really going to be doing too well in the fights. Hey guys, just going to show you some things in practice tool. So level 1 against Sylas, you want to do the little ring around the rosy thing. So let's say this is the Sylas approaching, this dummy here. He's approaching, he's going to E. I'm around here, or like here. So he E's, he's like walks over here, and then I walk back forwards. So like this level 1 little ring around the rosy thing against his E. I mean, it's not just good for level 1, but like level 2, 3, 4, 5 as well. If you get good at that, it will be pretty good. So that's something to, I guess, kind of practice and get good at, because it really helps you in the early game, I would say, because you don't want to completely give up the lane and you want to be in XP range and stuff. And level 1 with your Q, you can definitely win the trades, and especially if he misses his E and hits it a minion instead, right? So yeah. Another thing we can do against Sylas is we can do the W backwards combo. So let's say this is where Sylas is and he E's here to try and E towards me. There's always going to be a little delay between his E1 and E2, so he can't just E and then straight away use his chain, right? So we see his E1, we don't panic too much, but as soon as we see his E animation and we sort of think before he E's, we kind of have an idea that, yeah, okay, well, Sylas is like this distance from me, and if there's minions or not, whether he will E, you know, we can kind of tell from his movement and how he's clicking. As soon as you see that little jump from him, and even like the first part of his animation, you want to already place W and throw the Q straight away. So you see that first part of the animation, you place a W, you don't need to place it too far, but it's good to place it as far as you kind of can, because he's going to try and hit you with the chain, right? So we W, we throw the Qs, and then we auto E and we take the W. If there's no minions, we're going to want to dash, or not dash, but click towards the left or right. So click backwards a bit, but then left to right straight away, because he's going to you know, if you click backwards, he's going to think you're running backwards, but then you quickly go left or right because we know he's going to hit the chain. You know, don't need to panic because it's quite simple, I think. Usually they won't hit the chain because, you know, you juke it. And that's kind of how you want to trade if there's no minions. If there's minions, obviously it's much more simple. So let's say there were minions here or something. You know, he E's in like that. I W behind my minions. I think I showed you in game one of those combos. And I take the W as well. He can't follow. That's also how you want to trade. Using a W backwards is actually very nice in the early game. Probably like level 5. Even after level 5, after level 6, you know, it's always good to use that little combo. It's a nice little patient combo that will help you win over time, which is really good. I would say it's like your bread and butter combo. Using your W after he uses his E1 is the main thing, but using your W backwards is even better because it keeps you safe from further trades, right? And yeah, that's basically a good trade to take. Your bread and butter, I guess, is using your W on Sylas after he has no E, but using it backwards is also going to be better for your safety. Another thing is Sylas is kind of similar to Akali in ways that he has to use all of his spells to clear the wave. So let's say Sylas, you know, let's say we pushed in the wave and the next wave comes and it's bouncing towards us. We walked into Fog of War after pushing, and let's say this is a little Sylas and he's clearing the wave. If we're here, it depends on, I guess, which side of the lane he is. Mid lane is now bigger, I guess, with these bushes. But we can like walk up if once he uses his E and his, you know, his jump and stuff on the wave. Walk up and we can like engage with W, or we can flash on him. We can try and kill him like that. That's usually a combo or like a thing we do after laning phase though. So after we have items, maybe 2 items. Maybe if I had like Eclipse and Profane and I'm like, we're side lane now because laning phase is over, you know, I would push bot lane. So if I teleport to my cursor, if I can find it, so I push bot lane and now it's bouncing. I could either hide here, or usually I like to hide in one of these bushes, so I hide here. Let's say for instance I'm hiding in here, right, and I have Eclipse and Profane, maybe like 20 minutes into the game or 17 minutes or something. He's up here, you know, he E's the minions. I wait for him to use his E, and as soon as he uses his E, I just go in, right? I open with ult usually if he's in range. If he's not in range, then I have to open with W. But either way, we can go in and chase him down if he has no E. And what he's going to do is he's going to steal your ult. So you ult him, you E him, you just wait. And I guess I would open with W actually, because then he would have no time to steal my ult. I would be able to hit a couple Qs. And then he'll steal ult. Make sure I ult him as well first, and then he would ult me and I would have Qs up again to Q him with my shadows. And that's usually what you want to do when it's a little trick you can do against Sylas. If you push the wave, you hide, he's going to use all of his spells because he has to use his, I mean, usually they use their spells, their dash to clear the wave and stuff. So yeah, if the Sylas isn't patient, that's what you do. Nice little trick. In conclusion, Sylas is usually a pretty easy matchup unless you fall behind early on against him. I think he's similar to Akali in that way, where he's a bit stronger early compared to Akali, but later on he kind of falls off harder. Sylas, without usually, you know, without good ults on your team for him to steal, he isn't really too much of a menace. I mean, Akali's more of a menace, but yeah, I think if you don't fall behind early, a lot of his spells and everything is telegraphed, so like that means, you know, you kind of know exactly what he's going to do. It's very easy to sort of combo him out with your team, or if he goes in, you know, let him hit your team, and you know, when his E2 hits people, you know exactly where he's going to be, so you line up the spells. I think it's quite simple after minute like 8, 9, 10 once you have Eclipse. So yeah, just try not to fall behind before that and you'll be fine. And yeah, that's basically it for this guide. I hope it was useful. I hope it was enjoyable to watch, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.